Hello! How many of you enjoyed the holiday Halloween? The costumes, the candy, the decorations, the spooky decorations. In this video, we're going to explore the history of Halloween and test your Halloween IQ. I hope you have fun and learn something new about this October holiday. Okay, for the first question, why did the ancient Celtics of Ireland have festivals on October 31st, today called Halloween? A, they always had gatherings and parties for no special occasion. They were celebrating an end to one season and a beginning of another. Or C, they liked to get dressed up in costume and give away treats. If you guessed B, they were celebrating an end to one season and a beginning of another, you were right. It was a celebration of the end of summer and harvest and the beginning of the dark, cold winter, a time associated with human death. It occurs the night before the first day of November, which was considered as the beginning of a new year. True or false? On the night of October 31st, the Celtics celebrated Samhain, which it was believed that the ghost of the dead returned to Earth. Do you think that's a true or false fact? If you guessed true, you are right. The Celts believed that on the night before November 1st, the boundary between the worlds of the living and the dead became blurred. Which of these is believed to occur on Halloween night in ancient Celtic times? There is more than one answer. The ghosts damaged crops and created havoc. The Celtics wore costumes and received treats. The Druids, or Celtic priests, make predictions about the future. They relit their hearth fires to help protect them during the coming winter. They would make traps to try and catch the spirits, ghosts that had come back from the dead. Remember, there is more than one answer to this multiple choice question. If you guessed that the ghosts damaged crops and created havoc, you are right. If you guessed that the Druids or Celtic priests made predictions about the future, you are right. And if you guessed that they relit their hearth fires to help protect them during the coming winter, you are right as well. The Celtics wore costumes to receive treats was not correct, and they would not make traps. Fun fact. When Halloween reached America, a new version of celebrating occurred. The first celebrations included play parties, which were public events held to celebrate the harvest. Neighbors would share stories of the dead, tell each other's fortunes, dance, and sing. Did you have any of these traditions growing up during Halloween? Tell each other's fortunes, sing, or dance. The Celtics did wear ghoulish costumes, but for what reason? A, they wanted to scare the ghosts and spirits away. B, they wanted to blend in with the spirits that were visiting in hopes they would be left alone. C, they wanted to dress up to see if they could get away with causing their own trouble, just like the spirits. Or D, they believed they could return with the ghosts to the afterlife if they look like them. If you said B, you were right. They wanted to blend in with the spirits that were visiting in hopes that they would be left alone. The tradition of trick-or-treating as we know it today occurred in what era? A, the 1950s, B, 1930s, C, 1920s, or D, 1960s? How old were you when you first started trick-or-treating, or maybe watching your own kids trick-or-treat? If you said 1930s, you're right. When the custom of trick-or-treating started in the 1930s and early 40s, children were given everything from homemade cookies and pieces of cake to fruit, nuts, coins, and toys. In the 1950s, candy manufacturers began to get in on the act and promote their own products for Halloween. As trick-or-treating became more popular, candy was seen as a more convenient and affordable option. Fun fact, although it is unknown precisely where or when the phrase trick-or-treat was coined, the custom had been firmly established in American popular culture by 1951, when trick-or-treating was depicted in the Peanuts comic strip and later in a Disney's cartoon with Donald Duck and his nephews. Did you ever go trick-or-treating? What kind of treats did you get? Or what kind of treats did you pass out to the younger trick-or-treaters? Here are some of my favorite Halloween looks through the years. Red Riding Hood and the Wolf, Ice Queen, Rosie the Riveter, the Mummy when I was pregnant, Mary Poppins, a 50s sock hop girl, and a hobo. Fun fact, in the early 20th century, costumes were mostly meant to be spooky. Today, they often reflect the movies we like and the politicians we hate. Did you ever dress up for Halloween? Were they homemade or purchased? True or false? Half of all the candy sold annually in the U.S. is purchased for Halloween. Do you think that's a true statement or a false statement? If you said false, you were right. It's not quite half. It's actually a quarter of all candy sold in the U.S. annually happens on Halloween. The National Retail Federation products say we will spend nearly $2.6 billion on candy this Halloween, which equals to 600 million pounds. And this was for the year 2020. When was the first pumpkin carved into a jack-o'-lantern? A, the 18th century in Great Britain. B, 20th century in the United States. C, 19th century in the United States. Or D, none of the above. This is kind of a trick question. The first jack-o'-lantern was actually carved in Ireland, but they weren't carved out of pumpkins, but rather out of turnips or potatoes because pumpkins were not common in Ireland. It wasn't until Ireland immigrants came to America when they brought the tradition and started using pumpkins. And I think it was in the 19th century when the immigrants of Ireland came to America. Okay, here are 10 candy options. Put these candies in order as the top 10 most sought after Halloween candies, from number 1 being the most popular to 10 being the least popular. We have Jolly Ranchers, Hershey bars, Kit Kats, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, Snickers, Twizzlers, Butterfinger, Twix, Starburst, and Junior Mints. Now put them in order 1 to 10 as the most popular Halloween candies. So did you get all of them in order correctly? Number 10 was a Hershey bar. Number 9 was a Snickers, my favorite. Number 8, Butterfinger. Number 7, the Jolly Rancher. Number 6, Kit Kats. Number 5, Twix. Number 4 was a Starburst. Number 3, Junior Mints. Number 2 was a Twizzlers. And the number 1 sought after candy is the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. I hope you enjoyed this little Halloween quiz. The information I got is right here on the following slide for more fun information about the history of Halloween.